There are people in this world who carry a kind of quietness within them, a stillness so steady that even life's loudest moments fail to shake it. They walk through chaos as though they've already survived it once before. They don't raise their voices, they don't force their opinions, and they don't rush to defend themselves. Instead, they breathe, observe, and respond only when their words can offer something more valuable than silence. To others, their presence feels like a warm, soft blanket of tranquility, calm, composed, and strangely comforting. But such people are rarely born that way. Their calmness is not a natural gift. It is a character forged through storms. One such person was Elias Ward. Anyone who met him would say he was the quietest man in the room, yet somehow the strongest. He owned a small workshop in a peaceful town by the river, repairing clocks, watches, and delicate old pieces most believed were beyond saving. His shop smelled faintly of metal, wood polish, and time itself. People rarely visited for conversation, yet almost everyone in the town trusted him. They often said that being in his presence made life feel slower and safer, as though for a moment the world wasn't rushing anywhere. But Elias hadn't always been calm. Years ago, he was the sort who overthought every silence and reacted to every worry. His life then was a tangle of loud emotions, stretched thin by heartbreak, disappointment, and the desperate need to keep everything under control. He would panic at small problems, fill quiet moments with fear, and cling to outcomes he could never shape. It took years of storms, both around him and within him, before he learned the truth. The world will never bend to your will, but you can bend yourself into a shape that can weather any storm. One evening, as rain tapped against the windows of his shop, Elias worked on an old brass pocket watch brought in by a local teacher. It had belonged to her grandfather and had stopped ticking years. The piece was delicate, its internal gears worn and chipped from time, but Elias worked patiently, turning each small screw as though adjusting the heartbeat of something sacred. Outside, thunder rolled across the sky, but inside the shop everything was still. Calm had become the rhythm of his hands. A knock sounded on the door, sharp, hurried, and trembling. When Elias looked up, a woman stood there drenched from the rain, her breath quick and uneven. Her name was Marianne. Her face carried the expression of someone who'd been trying not to fall apart for far too long. "Are you closing?" she asked, voice almost breaking. "Not yet," Elias replied softly. "Come in." She stepped inside, soaked and shivering, wiping her face with trembling fingers. He offered her a towel and a place near the heater. "Is something wrong?" he asked eventually, his voice gentle. "I don't know," she said. "Everything feels wrong." She didn't explain immediately. People rarely can when their emotions swell too loudly. But Elias didn't push or ask again. Instead, he gave her silence, the kind that invites truth instead of pressuring it. It took her several minutes before she spoke again. "I lost my job today. Everything collapsed so quickly and I panicked. I've always panicked. I don't know how people stay calm. I feel like I'm falling apart." Her voice cracked. Elias listened, not rushing to fix her, not offering empty words. He had learned long ago that some emotions don't need solutions, they need space. When she finished, he finally said, "Calmness doesn't come from having an easy life. It comes from surviving a difficult one." She looked at him confused. "I wasn't always like this," he said. "In fact, I was once very much like you." He didn't raise his voice or shift in his chair. He simply continued working on the watch, letting the soft clicks punctuate his words. There was a time when every small problem felt like the end of the world. I lived inside my storms. It was the ability to look at a storm and say, "I am still here. I am still me. And this too will pass." From that day on, whenever life grew heavy, she would place her hand on her heart, take a slow breath, and remember Elias's words. Calmness is created, not found. And piece by piece, moment by moment, she continued building her own. For in the end, those who master calmness are not the ones who escape the storm. They are the ones who become the stillness inside it.